Hi, this is Andy Collin and Chris Pomeroy from Growing Up Aspen, Adventures of the Unsupervised. We've started our third podcast series, Movie Chat, with a bunch of students that grew up in Aspen and have moved into the entertainment industry. And today we catch up with Darby Laswell and her husband, Kevin Symons. Darby worked on such things as House Hunters, Billy the Exterminator, and Kevin has been in many TV shows and movies, such as Parks and Recreations, and a lot of fun things. So let's catch up with Darby and Kevin and see what their journey has been like. Thanks.
Good. How are you? There we are.
Good.
Good.
All right.
So this is Kevin Symons, my husband.
Hi, Kevin. How are you doing?
I think I met you at the last reunion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Wow, that was a couple of days ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, Andy, where are you?
I'm in Portland.
Oh, wow.
Really?
I worked at Animation Magazine, and while I was there, I realized that there was a bunch of independent animators up here, and there were clay and photo cutout and all kinds of stuff. And I thought, I'll just go up to Portland, a small kind of community thing. I'll just get myself involved. And so that's got a job at the film lab, and everybody has to go to the film lab. So I met everybody and started to get involved on some projects. So it was kind of a interesting adventure from LA.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow,
where are you, Darby? Are you in LA or where?
We're in LA, yeah, Eagle Rock.
Okay.
If you know LA, we're like between Pasadena and downtown LA sort of area.
Okay, cool.
East Siders. And Chris, where are you?
I'm in Athens, Georgia.
Okay.
My
What do you
my
think
wife
of
and I moved out here. We were recruited by the newspaper out here many, many years ago, and I have since left that that industry. So,
Well, what do you think of Athens? Do you like it?
it's a cool town. Yeah. It's obviously a music town, and then there's a big football and college side of it. And now, incidentally, you probably knew this, but there are a lot of movie stuff out here.
Yeah.
Where they're moving to. They built a 100,000 square foot sound stage about a couple miles from here, and so there's some big productions and things going on out here now.
We've had several friends have moved down there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
To Athens or to Georgia?
No, to Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just, and we've had some friends move to Tennessee and
Tennessee's a big one.
South Carolina rather. And yeah, it ain't in LA anymore. It's just really dying off here big time.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
everything's mobile.
Yeah.
It used to be you needed the trucks, you needed the equipment, you needed the sound stage, you needed this and that. So now,
Good
with
anywhere now.
high-speed fiber optics, you can pretty much be anywhere.
There's crews everywhere now, and like London is huge. They're shooting so much stuff in the UK right now. It's unbelievable. So yeah.
London,
think,
Canada, and it's like another country, like not Romania, but there's like
Bulgaria.
another
Yeah,
country.
it's Hungary.
Hungary. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always take notice, just being from here, and a friend of mine actually did the logo, but at the end of a lot of series and shows and movies, you'll see that filmed in Georgia, and there's just more and more every day. We see B-roll and stuff in the background and shows and movies, we're like, oh, that's just down the street. That's hilarious.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow.
Nice.
Very cool.
So here we are.
Yeah. So it's kind of a fun thing because a lot of our audience is from Aspen or will be. So Darby, can you talk about your journey from Aspen? What got you into it, and how you guys met, and then your career kind of thing?
Sure, yeah. Let's see. So I, after graduating from Aspen high school. I actually went to Sweden for a year as an exchange student.
Cool.
Cool.
And then I came back and I was supposed to go to Mills College right out of San Francisco, but instead I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts here in Pasadena. And then when I finished that, I got involved in the industry and I just didn't like it. It's not an easy business. Ask this.
What? Simple. Just fall into work all the time.
So I went back to school, and then a friend of mine, ours, got a job as a writer on a sci-fi show. This is when Paramount had a network, and they needed a researcher, and I was really interested in research. And they brought me on, and I got right back into the industry. And that's how that started a million years ago. Met in the restaurant business because that's how you meet people, right? That are
After like every other actor, as soon as I graduated from college, I went and became a bartender, in your early salad days when you're just starting out. That's how we met. And years later, we're still together and still living in this crazy city.
Surviving, that's what it's about.
Well, it's been great because, she's been in one aspect of the business. We're both in the business, but we're in different aspects of it, different avenues, which is great because we have an understanding of what each other's going through, but there's no competition there,
Yeah,
well, it's interesting that you're in different, you're part of the same machine, but you're more sort of the producer part and you're more the talent part. Can you guys speak to a little bit about how it's changed from when you got into what it's like now? Because the animation industry is huge.
Well, before we do that, why don't you both just kind of mention what it is that you do specifically? I think would be good.
I am a producer. Really, my forte is field producing and directing. So that's what I do. I work in nonfiction. I was on House Hunters for almost a decade, which was fantastic. And now I do true crime. So I'm this side of the industry. That's
okay.
And I've been an actor for 30 plus years and very blessed to, make a living at it and have been for many, 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 many years. That day when I didn't have to bartend anymore, I actually, I feel very blessed because I've had healthcare, I've got pensions, I've made my living as an actor for 30 years, 28 years, and it's tough, and I'm so, and there's always ebbs and flows, but I've had several TV series over the years. Parks and Recreation was one of them. I was on that for 4 seasons.
Cool.
And a couple of other series regulars, and a lot of TV, stage, commercials, whatever it takes to have a bottom line at the end of the year that is, positive. So
it's not in the red, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like pandemic years, which was just brutal.
Yeah.
So do you have like an agent, or is it through connections and meeting folks and hearing what people are working on and someone going, hey, maybe what, because it's such an interesting industry that, a lot of industries, you do this and this is the job and it goes to this and that and this and that. And Hollywood seems like it's kind of a whirlwind of its own beast.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you secure an acting job?
Me? Oh, I have agents. I have really good agents. I have a commercial agent. I have a theatrical agent, which handles me for TV, film, and stage. I have a manager and a voiceover agent. So I'm covered across the board. All different.
You got a team.
Yeah, I have a team. Yeah. A team. I just always love that. I've been with my agents for, over 20 years. I love them. They're like family. We've had some great times. So you have to, because, theater is more, you can get work from word of mouth. If you've worked at the theater before, worked with the director before, but the other, the TV and film and that you need to have representation. Although I have gotten other jobs because of directors that I've worked with before.
Right.
But that doesn't happen a lot. You just got to get in the room. And the thing about it is, like, when I got my very first series, Darcy's Wildlife, back in the early 2000s, that kind of changed everything because like I would now get better auditions. I had recurrings and co-stars and guest stars before, but this was a game changer. So, and you just keep, getting higher up on the food chain,
Right.
building a resume. So, but the business has changed so much because when I first started out, and up until a few years ago, you would go into offices and read in front of the producer and director and writer. And now it's all self-tape, all self-taping at home auditions. Now I have a whole setup in my office.
Wow.
And, everything is, yeah. And there's good and bad because I like being in the room. I like getting that reaction. I like getting an adjustment from a director.
Yeah.
This you make a choice, you make a strong choice, you send it off into the ethosphere, and you may never hear anything. You don't even know if it's seen or not. So
It's interesting because as the talent versus the producer, that does make a big difference because there's all kinds of stuff that affect a performance and affect what you're doing. Whereas a producer, it's a little bit more line item, and it is just hearing and getting some right. Okay, great, that goes on here, this there, So it's a bit of a different from home. It's a bit different,
Very.
Yeah. Well, this was all, as you guys know, a result of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like, well, first of all, I will say just in my world, I work with people I've never met in person. That's nuts. That's crazy. We see each other on Zoom, but there are so many people I've worked with that I've never seen them as a human being, which is just really odd. And yet, lots of your meetings, you're in your pajamas. So I guess there's that.
Yeah.
Are they members of like a regular team, or is this different for every project?
Well, when I was doing House Hunters, this was before the pandemic. So I was going into the office and I'm doing a ton of travel. But now that I'm doing true crime, this was after the pandemic. So all of our meetings, because we are a team, so all of our meetings, we have a lot of them, production meetings. All the meetings are via Zoom. None of us are going to.
Wild.
Be a couple people are, but I've been to the office a couple times to conduct interviews, but that's it. Twice, I think I was there.
Wow.
So it's really, and as far as Kev goes, just from my perspective, he's not really getting the adjustments that you would if you were in the room, or the opportunity to have that personal, we're all here chatting, but there's a difference talking from our spaces than it would be if we were all together.
Especially comedy. It's so great to be in a room, like to hear them laugh, and you hit that beat, you hit that moment. And you just don't have it here. Fortunately, I have a built-in person to read with.
Yeah.
No, I mean that could go good or bad. When I run stuff past my wife, she usually rolls her eyes and walks away.
I went to college and got a degree as an actor, and during the pandemic, I had to learn to be a camera guy, a lighting designer, an editor. Because I had to learn by doing, and it was nothing I was familiar with, and all of a sudden, now it's second nature. Now it's just
everything is
not going to go back.
Yeah, technology has kind of gone into everything, and so you kind of have to be a specialist of everything. I mean, you could almost shoot a movie now on an iPhone.
Absolutely, they're doing it. That's what they're doing.
The 16 is supposed to be incredible. I don't have one, but the camera on there is supposed to be unreal.
Yeah.
They have this new thing called vertical shorts. It's not new anymore. It's called vertical shorts, and they're shot vertically because everything was landscape for a while.
Right.
Now because of Instagram, they need to shoot it vertically, and they're doing little soap operas and paying actors and directors, and this stuff is huge all over the world. I mean, it's massive, millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Wow.
Crazy. Yeah.
I know it's funny how things change and things go, and as we get used to technology, it's just going to be a whole new. I mean, we're still communicating, it's still telling stories, it's still all that stuff, but it's like the formats and things change, and
faster than I've ever seen, I think.
Yeah.
What's crazy is the scalability of it too, where like what you're talking about for Instagram. oftentimes same footage has to be ready for a theater or, God forbid, IMAX or something.
Yeah. True.
Well, when I started when I was on House Hunters, we shot on cassette tapes. And it was so nerve-wracking because a lot of the time, if I was going from one town to another, I would have to FedEx my tapes, an episode in a box. And I swear I was so nervous. Now we're on cards. So there's a backup here, there's a backup there, there's a backup there. I mean, it's just wild. And yeah, like you said, it's just moving really fast.
Really fast.
Yeah, I
The good
remember.
old days.
Yeah, I remember FedExing Digibeta master tapes to clients when we do commercials and stuff. And you're
Well, you'll like this one
it.
too. When I was at the Aspen Times, the daily news used to print at the ABC, the Aspen Business Center down by the airport. And I would get on the bus, the last bus of the night or whatever, and right there in the front seat were the plates of the next day's newspaper for the Aspen Daily News, just sitting there on the bus,
And now people go, newspaper? What's that? What's that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I saw one of those on my iPhone. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
exactly.
When I'm at the airport, one of my treats is to buy myself a New York Times, and I can't find any anymore.
Yeah,
There are no newspapers to be found.
yeah,
Just
I know. Hi, this is Growing Up Aspen. Glad you enjoyed that last little blast, and I hope you stick around for a few more. We want to, the authors of Growing Up Aspen, Adventures of the Unsupervised would like to thank you and ask you to, if you're interested, you can check out our book at twistandturnpress.com, or any local bookstore can order our book. So we will talk to you soon and hear more from some of our friends. Thanks.